Imagine being a regular taxpayer and yet frauded with around 150 billion euros. That's intense, and all thanks to the Cumex Files, which managed to loot people for so long without getting noticed. And here's everything you need to know about the biggest tax scandal in Europe. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Are you a fan of movies in which the plot is about a heist? If yes, then you just landed on the right video, as we are about to tell you a story that seems to have sprung straight out of a heist film. The Cumex controversy, also known as the German dividend tax scandal or the Cumex Files, is a fast-growing cross-border tax fraud investigation involving dozens of financial companies and numerous people. It is the world's largest tax evasion. 3 years after the release of Cumex Files, led by Corrective reveals how taxpayers all over the world are defrauded 150 billion euros. Financial experts warn that tax fraud may still be feasible, and authorities refuse to accept responsibility, according to an insider report on cross-border agreements. What does the term Cumex signify, and what does it stand for? Cumex refers to a large number of transactions that took place before 2012 and entailed exploiting a technicality in dividend distribution that allowed many parties to claim the same tax return. Dividend stripping is another term for it. Banks and stockbrokers quickly swapped their shares with cum and without x dividend rights in order to conceal the true owner's identity. This meant they might arrange to sell business shares before the dividend was paid, but deliver it after the dividend was paid. This strategy allowed both parties to claim capital gains tax refunds, a tax that had only been paid once, and quick trading among many parties might create the illusion of multiple owners, resulting in significant profits. Background: a securities trading operation known as Cumex cheated tax authorities of billion euros between 2002 and at least 2012. Guidehouse's James Siswick and Alexandra Williams present Cumex and emphasize the issue's complexity and severity, as well as the threat it poses to financial services organizations. The guy accused of stealing over €1 billion from numerous nations' tax coffers now sits in a cafe overlooking a lush green golf course. Sanjay Shah, an investment banker, shares his side of the tale. He is being investigated by prosecutors in at least 3 countries, including Germany, for so-called Cumex agreements. The sum in question is in the 7-figure range in Denmark alone. Despite this, he insists that everything he did was lawful. Of course, Shah is entitled to the benefit of the doubt. However, the banker's situation is going to become precarious. The German Federal Court of Justice has already addressed the kinds of transactions he believes legitimate, and their previous decisions have been consistent: tax avoidance. Deals with Cumex are almost always unlawful. Shah has long been a beneficiary of a massive, and very certainly fraudulent, game in which a network of banks, consultants, and investors employed deception, shorting, and complex trading patterns to defraud the government of billions of dollars. Many governments, with few exceptions, basically let them operate with impunity. The con artists work in a fast-paced, multinational economy with a complicated set of laws. At the same time, authorities are overwhelmed, processes are complicated, structures are stiff, and administrative duties are dispersed. When many people thought Cumex trading was largely a German concern in 2018, a team of 38 journalists led by Corrective discovered that the fraudsters were operating across Europe. With the aid of specialists, it was determined that tax-driven transactions such as Cumex trades cost 55.2 billion euros. Even yet, everyone had their suspicions that this was not the entire depth of the deception. Corrective has gathered a group of 30 journalists, this time from 5 continents, 3 years after the initial Cumex Files. The data is now undeniable. The Cumex system is a worldwide phenomenon. There is no country that is completely safe. The most recent study elucidates the full scope of Cumex fraud. According to an estimation by a team of tax specialists at the University of Mannheim, at least 150 billion euros was taken from taxpayers globally, as is about the same amount of money that the EU spends in a year. How big is the Cumex scandal considered to be? Authorities in Germany estimate that the country's treasury has lost 10 billion euros as a result of this. However, more than 10 more European countries have been impacted, with estimates indicating that 55 billion euros may have been lost in these countries' treasuries. As a part of Europe's developing Cumex controversy, a number of banks have been seized. Investigators are concentrating on how the loophole was misused to benefit so many people. Like this video so far? Then make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, as a little action from you can help my channel grow tremendously. Now let's get back to the video. How did it work? A network of banks, brokers, top attorneys, and other professionals would lend each other shares in huge corporations, giving the impression to tax authorities that there were two owners when there was only one. Investment bankers and hedge funds, for example, would create special-purpose vehicles, SPVs, for traders to sell to investors. Banks would offer the loans, increasing the number of exchanges. The stock trading bank would then give a confirmation to the investor that tax on the dividend payment had been paid, even if it had not been done. Finally, tax lawyers would issue legal opinions to ensure that everything was lawful and fair. With this certification, the state would reimburse the tax to the investor, whether EU or non-EU. In reality, the ability of foreign investors to obtain tax refunds is at the core of the Cumex scandal. How many countries in Europe are impacted? The scam has defrauded at least 11 EU member states, plus Switzerland. Germany's losses are estimated to be between 5.3 billion euros to 30 billion euros. France will receive a loss of at least 17 billion euros, Italy 4.5 billion euros, Denmark 2 billion euros, and Belgium 201 million euros. The incident has sparked an investigation in the United States as well. The risks and challenges. With a large number of further investigations, criminal charges, and civil procedures predicted, Cumex poses major legal, financial, and reputational concerns for institutions. In addition, regulatory examinations are increasingly likely to look into what steps institutions have done to address the problem. For many current senior management teams and heads of legal and compliance, the most difficult task will be determining if and to what degree institutions have been involved in Cumex in the past. Cumex schemes are complicated, and it can be difficult to spot transaction patterns where individual transactions appear to be valid, but the entire picture is hidden. Fortunately, several signs and hints can help with the internal inquiry. A successful inquiry should give the needed clarity and, if necessary, enable the early establishment of an action plan to prepare for an investigation by the appropriate authorities, to seek proactive disclosure, or to prepare for potential legal responsibility. What is the EU doing about it? No EU statutes or authority now has the power to take the necessary measures. In December 2017, the European Commission issued new rules on withholding taxes, a tax that is paid at source rather than by the receiver on the other end when income is transferred cross-border, in order to streamline procedures for cross-border investors in the EU. It has also urged member states to implement IT-based withholding tax relief schemes. According to the Commission, this would remove the possibility of fraud. However, because foreign investors do not pay taxes anywhere, relief at source has increased the possibility of double non-taxation or zero taxation. So what are your views on the Cumex scandal? Let me know in the comments section. With that being said, it's time for us to say goodbye, but don't be sad, I'll be back with another amazing video soon. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for more such videos. See you all soon. Thanks for watching.